right? So you have some string. Select star from emp table. Okay, sorry, I didn't select the proper database. Okay, right? If you are executing this one, so this is coming. So what I'm going to do here, so I'm going to write down some substring function on this one. Okay, emp number, employee name, job, hire date. Okay, right. So if you observe here, I want to take from SMITH, right? So I want to take some of the string, some of the part of the string from this employee. Okay, so I want to take the part like the starting position, right? So how you can write down this substring. Okay, and which column you are going to apply this substring? Employee name. Okay, right. So how many characters you required? How many characters you required? I want three characters. From which position? Okay, from which position you require this? From the position number 1. Okay, up to which, how many characters you require? I need three characters. Okay, up to third position. Okay, this employee name. From executing this one, what happened? There are three characters will come. Okay, so that substring will take from the starting position 1 to, okay, the starting position from 1 to third. Okay, from 1 to third. So for example, for the demonstration purpose, I'm going to take one more declare. I'm going to declare one variable. So declare the variable name is employee name varchar. Okay, and I'm going to assign some a string for this employee name. Okay, that is MSBI demo. Right. So if I want to find out the substring, the total string is MSBA, right? So if I'm selecting this one at the rate of employee name. Okay, right. So if you observe here substring, I'm going to write down substring of this. So in this variable at the rate of employee name variable, so I want to take the substring like the starting position from M. I want to display only MSBA part only. Okay, so what is the starting position of this M? The starting position of this M is 1, comma, and the ending position is up to I, right? So the, because that is MSBA part I need, so up to I. So what is the position of I? The position of I is 4. Okay, right. If you are executing this one, the MSBA will come. Okay, so how to write this substring function? So you have to write down the column on which column you are going to apply this substring. Okay, and what is the starting position? Okay, and what is the ending position, right? So up to this part we require the starting position is from the first position to fourth position of the character. The fourth position of the character is I, right? So up to M, from M to I, MSBA we require. So in this way you can apply the substring function. Okay, right. If you are coming to one more function, char index function. So what is this char index function? So exactly, for example, this I, the position of I is fourth position. You know very well the position of I is 4 because there are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 characters only. Then you can say easily, okay, the position of I is fourth position. For example, if you have 1000 characters, then how you can say that position of that one? It is difficult to count that a position of particular string in the entire, right? So in that situation, by using the character index, it will tell, the index means the number the position of the character in a particular string, right? So at the rate of name variable having this string, so if you want to find out a particular character position, if you want to find out a particular character position, how can you find out? So you have to write down which character you are going to search. I want to find out the position number of E. In what string, in which string you are going to find out, right? So I'm going to find out the name variable. Okay, so I want to display that value. Select the char index of the return function. If you are executing this one, the position of E is 7th position, right? If you are counting, M is the first position, S is the second position, B is the third position, I is the fourth position, okay, and space, and the next one is E position. The position of E is 7th position, right? So this way you can find out the position of a particular character in a particular string, right? So if you observe here the substring function, so you want to find out MSBI, right? So you have mentioned here the starting position is 1 and the ending position is 4, right? So you can say that position of 4 is I. The position of I is 4. So you can say easily, because this is a very small string. If you have a lot of number of characters, then how you can find out, right? So you can't say, you can't find out that I position. So you can write down like this way by using char index function. Okay, you can use char index function. Sorry. By using this char index function, you can find out the position of I. Which character you are going to search? I. And which variable? At the rate of name variable, right? Just execute this, right? It is giving MSBI. For example, if you want to find out a string like MSBI space DE up to DE, okay, so how to find out? The starting position of this MSBI is M, and the ending position of E is, you have to find out that position of E by using this char index. So this will give the result, the number of the position of E, and the substring syntax is, and the what and which string you are going to set, and that string name you have to write down, that is the variable, right? And the starting position is 1, and this total char index bracket open E at the rate of name, this will return the position of E, right? So by using this substring and character index, you can find out the MSBI DE, right? I'm going to execute whether it is giving the same result or not, right? So it is giving MSBI DE. So this way you can use substring and character index functions. The main purpose of the char index is you can find out the position of a character in a particular string. Okay, right. So if you are coming to the next function, that is null is null function, right? So we have the data in employee table. Sorry. So the first number is EMP number, employee name, hire date, comma, commission, right? Right. So if you observe in the commission column, there is some spaces, right? There are some space values. So whenever the value is null value, it's not space, it is a null value. That means there is no value. Okay. So if you have a null value, so that I want to replace that null value with some other value by using is null function. So what this is null function is doing, it is trying to find out the value, whether it is a null value or any other value. Okay. right? If it is a null value, this commission column having any null value, that I want to replace with 10. That commission value I'm going to put 10, right? See, it is displaying with 10 because it is null value, so it is displaying null. You can put any value. If it is a null value, that means there is no commission for a particular employer, so you are replacing this with anything, whether it is, you can put 100 also, you can put any value. So this way you can use is null function. And the next function we have null if function. What exactly is null if function, right? What exactly is null if function? Select employee number, employee name, hire date, salary, comma commission from EMP table. Okay, right. So what this null if function is doing? So this null if function is trying to compare the two columns. Okay, null if, it is trying to compare whatever the columns you are putting here. So I am going to put the same columns, for example commission. So this is the one column, right? So this is one column, these two columns have some data, so it is trying to compare the both columns. If the both columns data is similar, for example this commission column having 1000 and this column having 1000, so both are similar, so then immediately it will display null value. Okay, it will display null value. If both are not similar, then it will display the first value, this column value. Okay, so if we are executing this one, the null will come here, right? Because so we are comparing only similar columns. So if you are making this is a salary column, what happened? So we are comparing the commission column with salary column, right? So both are not similar, so that's why it is displaying the first column value. Or else if you want to make it salary column, first salary column, and this column I am going to compare with commission column, right? So salary 800, commission null. Okay, and so I'm comparing this salary column with commission column, right? So both are not similar. Here it is 800, here it is null value, so it will display the first column value, whatever the column you have mentioned here, that column value it is displaying here. And if you are coming to the next one, there are 1600 for the salary column and 300 for the commission column, so it is not equal, so that's why it is displaying 1600. If it is a 1600 here also, the commission value also 1600, then it will display here the null value, it will return null value. So basically it is trying to compare the two values, so whenever the values is equal, then it will returns the null value. If it is not equal, then it will return the value from the first column. Okay, and we have one more function, call save. Okay, call save function. Okay, call save function. So this function, what it will do, so it's almost similar like null if function. Okay, select emp number, employee name, hire date, salary, commission from EMP. Okay, right. See, for example, if you are applying any call say function, COALESE, call say function. Okay, so you can put any number of columns. You can put any number of columns here. For example, I'm going to put here commission column, comma salary, comma EMP number column. right? So what it will do? Commission column, comma, salary column, comma, EMP number. So I'm going to put in sequence. Okay, if you are executing this one, okay, right. So you have mentioned three columns. One is commission column, one is salary column, one is employee number column. So first it is trying to do, okay, first it is trying to compare this commission column. Okay, so whether this commission column having a null value or it has a numeric value, right. So this commission column, if it is having null value, what happened? So it will jump into the second column. It will check whether it will check the same thing, whether the salary column having a null value or any other numeric value. If it has a null value, then it will jump into the employee number column. So it will check out all the columns until the null value, until the value existing in a particular column. So if this commission column, the first column, don't have any null value, so it has some numeric value, then it will display that particular numeric value. It is not jumping into the remaining columns. Okay, it is not jumping into the remaining columns. Got it? Understand? It will try to check out the which column having a numeric value. If the first column having null value, then it will jump into the second column. So this way it will, right? What happened here? So it will check out first commission column having null value or numeric value. It is has null value, so it is coming to the salary column. The salary column having 800, it's not null value, so that's why it is displaying 800 here. Then it is coming to the employee number column. This employee number, then it is not going to the employee number column because it has a numeric value. So then it will finish and it will return the result 800. Okay, then if you are coming to the next row, whether this commission column having null value or numeric value, yes, it has a numeric value, so then it is not jump into the salary column and employee number column. It is directly displaying the 300 commission column value. And if you are coming to the third one, so here also it will check the first column is commission column, whether it has a numeric value or null value. Yes, there is a 500 is a numeric value, right? Yes, if you are coming to the here commission column, whether it has a null value or not, it will check out. Got it? Right. So this way this calls a function is working here. Got it? Right. So these are the sum of the string functions. We have one round function. So what is the purpose of the round function? For example, if you have one variable and that variable is a float data type at the rate of salary, if you are taking, that is a float data type equal to 10.45. Select at the rate of, I'm going to display this value salary, right? 10.45. And yes, this value you can give alias name for this one, right? It is a cell. And if I want to add some more digits also, how it is displaying, right? So this much of decimal points here, not decimal points, precision points. 45343743764. But I want to display only 2 points after the point value, 2 values after the point value. What are those two? Okay, so I want to round up this value. For example, if you are coming to here, I'm going to write down here round function. Okay, right. And which column you are going to apply? At the rate of salary. How many digits you want after the point? I want to show only 2 digits. I want to show only 2 digits, 10.45. Right? So what happened exactly? If you observe here, it is a 4 point. After the 4 point, how many? What is the number? It is a 3437, right? Right. So what happens whenever it is rounding the value? If it is greater than, 5, so you want to take the 2 digits, right? After the 2 digits, if it is a greater than 5, the first number is 5, then it will take 4 5 only. If it is greater than 5, then it will take the next value, the next round of value, that is 4 6 it will display. For example, if I am putting here 6, right, it is showing 4 6 here because it is combining the remaining value. So 10.456, so this is rounding this and this is combining as a 1. Okay, this is combining as a 1 and finally it is adding to 4 5, that is 4 6. If it is less than 5, that means 4, then it will display 4 5 only. So it is rounding the value. If it is a 50%, more than 50 percentage, it will add up 1. If it is less than 50 percentage, it is just taking 10.45. That the base value it will take. Okay, right. So these are about the sum of the string functions in our SQL server. Okay, these are some of the string functions in our SQL server. Okay. So in these functions, that is null function, substring function, and left, right, ltrim, rtrim, these are all important functions. So we are using regularly in SQL server. Okay, right. So the next topic is constraints. The next topic is constraints. What exactly these constraints? The constraint is nothing but so whenever you are going to create any table, so you are applying some rules on that particular columns. So based on that rules, the data will allow the insertion based on the constraint. What kind of constraint you are putting on a particular column, so it will check before inserting the data whether that condition, whether that constraint is satisfied or not. Okay, so what are the conditions, what are the constraints we have? Okay, so the constraints are null constraint, okay, and default constraint and check constraint, and the one more is primary key constraint, and one more is foreign key constraint, and one more is unique key constraint. Unique key constraint. Okay, so what exactly this null constraint? Right, right. I'm going to create some sample table. Create table sample employee number integer. If you are making it is null, then it will allow the null values. If you are making it is not null, what happen? You have to insert the value to this employee number. Okay, so if you are making this is not null, then if you are trying to insert a null value to this employee number column, it is not allowing because you have put a constraint like not null constraint. Okay, right. So I'm going to create one more column, that is employee name, that is varchar data type, right? Varchar data type. So I'm going to mention a default constraint. Default constraint. So what exactly this default constraint? So whenever you are applying a default constraint, if you are not inserting any value to this employee name column, So it will insert the default value, whatever the default value you are putting here. So I'm going to insert a default value as RAM. If you are not inserting any employee name for this employee name column, then by default it is taking RAM. The syntax for the default is, so this way you have to write, and what is the default value you are going to create, that you have to mention here. And what about the check constraint? So for example, salary column, salary is integer. So if you are making the check constraint, check constraint, so you have to open the bracket, and the salary greater than 1000. If the salary greater than 1000, then only it will allow to insert. Okay, so whenever you are going to insert any data for this particular employee, that salary is greater than 1000, then only it will trying to insert the data. If you are trying to insert a salary column less than 1000, it is not allowing. So this kind of checkup it will do. You can write down, you can make it equal also, you can make it less than also. So different conditions. So whatever the condition you are putting here, so that condition will check here, right? So what are the primary key constraint? So what exactly the primary key meaning? A primary key is a constraint. It will identifying each record uniquely. It will give uniqueness for each record in a table, right? So if you are applying a primary key on a particular table, particular column, if you are applying employee number as a primary key, okay, and this particular column, employee number and primary key if you are applying, so what it will do? This constraint, it is not allowing duplicate values. The duplicate values means, for example, employee number, if 100 is the one employee number, and if you are going to insert the same employee number once again, it is not allowing. The primary key is not allowing the duplicate values. No duplicate values, and plus no null values. It is not allowing even single null value also. It is not allowing even single null value also. And each table having only one primary key constraint. You can't create more than one primary key. Got it? So this is about the primary key. And if you are coming to the unique key, if you want to create a unique key instead of the primary key, what happened? What exactly this unique key? So this unique key also same like a primary key. It is also not allowing no duplicate values. Plus it will allow only one single null value. One single null value it will allow. Got it? But the primary key it is allowing, it is not allowing duplicate values, and it is not allowing even single null value also. But this unique key allowing one single null value and no duplicate values. Got it? Right. So what about the foreign key constraint? Right? So for example, if you have one more table, create table department DEP. This is department number integer, and I'm going to create a primary key on this column, comma, department name varchar. Okay, right, right. So if you observe here, this table, this is a department table. So this table having the department number and department name columns. So these two columns, in these two columns, one column is primary key column. Okay, one column is primary key column. So what is the primary key column? The department number is the primary key column, right? So whatever the column having primary key column in a department table, that column I am going to use here. Okay, so I'm going to add a department number column, integer data type, foreign key, right? References. Which table column it is referring? Department table D number column. The table name is DEP. Okay, the table name is DEP table. What happened here exactly? So this table, okay, this table, sample table, one of the column, that is department number column, referring the primary key column of a another table, that is DEP table. Got it? It is referring the primary key column of a another table. Here it is foreign key. This is the foreign key column. Right? Okay, guys. So the remaining things we will discuss in the tomorrow session. Okay. So once again, we are going to discuss about this foreign key constraint tomorrow. Okay. And the remaining topics we will discuss. So today most of the people are not joining, right? So that's why remaining topics we will discuss tomorrow. Okay. Guys, any doubts up to now?